Tim is passionate about helping children and really believes the way to change the world is to positively impact the lives of kids.
Working with Tim is amazing because he leads with his head, his heart, and his hands.
He really believes that if you can make an impact, you should, but he doesn't just say that, he also walks the walk, and I think that's really inspiring.
The number one job of every board chair for a nonprofit is to find their replacement. Tim was the right choice to replace me because of his ability to lead a group of people. He's an excellent listener, and he really cares about the kids.
For Tim, it was all about impact. During COVID, we kept every program of the Home for Little Wanderers open when financially it didn't make sense to do that. But Tim was committed to making sure that happened.
Tim's legacy is putting the home in a position to really react and respond to the environment that's always changing, whether it's COVID or changes in policy. What Tim has installed in terms of the way we operate is a much better resilience to be able to maintain our business, maintain our focus, and continue to move forward and serve the kids of the Commonwealth.
Because of Tim, this organization is larger, stronger, and helping more children than ever before.
Maybe a lot of people in the audience don't realize that Tim and his wife Lauren have been foster parents and have been with the home for quite a while, even before they took a leadership role on the board. And that was one of the big reasons why Leslie and I and the entire board really encouraged Tim to take over as board chair.
Tim Miner's leadership in our organization is not only about his deep commitment to the children that we serve. He truly understands what it means to help these kids. He saw the sleepless nights, he saw the nightmares, he saw the insecurity, he saw the importance of connection. So that gave him credibility and allowed him to really understand the need for the services that we provide.
The first time I remember meeting Nick was in middle school. I had grown up my whole life in Sherburne, then Dover Sherburne Middle School, and initially just thought he was, a regular old new kid. I would later come to know that he had been a new kid probably 7 or 8 times before that.
When I started coaching the middle school boys that are becoming young men, it's an incredibly important time for most boys that age, and I would tell them, don't be late, and you're now part of my family. So on October 15th of 2012, I got a phone call from the assistant principal of the middle school, and he said, Nick Taylor is in a homeless shelter. He wants to know if he can still play football. I said, of course he can play. What do I need to do? I had been in that community for all those years, and I've never, ever, ever seen the community come together like it did. And the Miners were a big part of it. These kids were in a pre-adoptive arrangement with a couple, and they get returned to DCF on a Sunday night. Lauren stepped up, it was like a no-brainer. And the fact that they took him in and did such a great job is just so selfless.
Tim and Lauren understood and believed that these children needed to be together. Before they came to Lauren and Tim's home, they had suffered horrific neglect and abuse. They had been in multiple foster homes, multiple group homes, a disrupted adoption. Can you imagine the trauma not only of coming into care and all that you've endured, but then learning that you're not going to live with your brother or your sister? Can you imagine being a mom and thinking about your own children being separated?
My parents kind of sat the 3 of us down one day and right before dinner, and we're basically like, look, we're gonna take in these kids that have been sort of passed around the system, try to keep them together, and we're gonna try to find them a home so that they can stay in DS.
We would do all of the things that we normally would do as a family. So, having holiday dinners with other people in our family. We went on a vacation and, we're walking through the airport. We're going through the line, and I remember the security person was like, "Are these all yours?" And my dad's like, "Yeah, they are." As it was happening and kind of as I've gotten older, it made it really clear that my parents, they're the kind of people who are willing to jump in and do something even when it's hard, and to do something that maybe not a lot of other people would do and to have a lot of fun doing it.
Tim and Lauren's commitment to the Taylor siblings went beyond providing them with a temporary home. They were committed to finding their forever family, their permanent family. They reached out into their community and really created a village that surrounded those kids, and they were committed to doing it for as long as it took. I know that's not what he thought when he first got the phone call and learned about those kids, but he changed the lives of those children.
Lauren and Tim were extremely instrumental in finding them a permanent home in the Dover-Sherburne community.
My parents gave them an environment where they were loved unconditionally, and I think previously a lot, if it had been love, it was conditional, where the threat of being sent back into the system was always there. And I think through various interactions with my parents specifically, each one of them realized that that was not ever going to be the case.
Our experience with the Taylor children and with my dad's work at the home was part of the reason that I went to law school in the first place. It's really laid the foundation of wanting to use the skills that I have to try to make things better.
Going through this situation and learning more and more that family isn't just always your physical mom, your dad. It can be a coach, it can be a teacher, it can be a friend in a community. And all those connections, if people are willing to make them, will ultimately lead to extremely positive outcomes.
I'd just like to say thank you to Tim and his whole family for all that you've done for the home, for all that you've done and invested to create better, brighter futures for kids. I personally, as I become chair soon, I hope to be half as good a chair as Tim was for the home.
Tim, you did a tremendous job. The home is in your debt. I'm in your debt. Thank you very much for taking over as board chair.
Tim, thank you for your commitment to our organization, for your partnership with me, for your deep respect of our workforce, and for your belief in our kids.
Dad, I love you. You've been an inspiration to a lot of people.
Dad, I love you. You mean the world to me. Couldn't ask for a better role model.
To both my mom and dad, thank you so much for teaching me what it looks like to be a person that goes the extra mile for the people around them and to really show up for your community in all aspects of your life.
It's funny, there's sort of that stigma against, or everyone sort of has that thing of, oh no, you don't want to become your parents. And anytime that conversation comes up, any of my friends know, my response is always, I would love to be Tim Miner. You kidding me?
Yeah.